On today's episode of the Mark Titus Show, the United States survives in advance. Serbia, best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, obviously. What I don't think really any of us saw coming was all the role players hitting everything. Could not miss from three. It felt like the U.S. We'll talk about it. Well, Tate's here to talk about it, but I will just say this before we get into it. That fourth quarter was maybe the most fun 10 minutes of basketball. I'll say it. Fuck it, I'll say it. I was the recency bias. I'll say it. It might be the most fun 10 minutes of basketball in my life. To watch Steph, KD, LeBron, even Embiid showed up, which we'll give him his flowers. But to watch Steph, LeBron, and KD score the final 13 points, to see all three of those guys on the floor together, three guys that have defined a generation of basketball in this country, in the world, really, finally playing together in a high-stakes game. This was not an exhibition. This was not a case of like the USA was taking Serbia lightly. This was Serbia playing very, very high-level basketball with the best player on the floor and going up against the best team in the world. And it was an incredible basketball game. And USA moves on, and now we play France, and we got to talk about it. But what a game it was! What a comeback! All sorts of things to unpack. Let's just get into it. Let's just dive right in because that was so much fun. All right, Tate, where do we want to start with this? Because maybe we start with the end, I guess. Steph, KD, LeBron just take over. Like all three kind of took over in their own way. Steph was hot from the start.
Steph was he was unconscious in the first quarter.
Yeah, I was like grinning from ear to ear because I've been critical of Steph wearing the USA jersey this cycle. He hasn't played great. He hasn't, and he doesn't play great defense. So like if he's not hitting shots, it is a little confusing why he's out there when he's out there. But today he reminded you, this is why I'm out here. And he could not miss. And he had Serbia running in circles. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just like the first half or the first quarter or whatever. Like he was hitting throughout the entire game. Obviously, you can't sustain. I think at one point I did do the on pace. I did the on pace thing.
You did hit us with he could get 100.
I was like, he's on pace. He's on pace for over 100 points right now.
But he was. I'll say this. There's nothing that gets my blood going like a Steph Curry shot, turn to the bench, and shimmy.
Yeah.
And then the ball goes.
He got to the point, he had a heat check in the right wing where he pulled it from pretty deep. Mm-hmm. I mean, for his range, it wasn't even really that deep, but it was a pretty deep like pull up in semi-transition. And the bench was going crazy. Like the United States bench like got up and they all start like holding each other back. And he missed it, but it just reminds you of like what he's capable of. And that was the Steph that we've all been wanting to see. And we see it out of the gate. Now the problem is, Serbia had like 5 Stephs. Mm-hmm. Serbia could not miss.
It felt like in the first half specifically, and we ended up out shooting them from 3. Like we ended up shooting better percentage wise from them from 3. But in that first half, they couldn't miss.
Yeah,
we doubled out. They made us pay for it every single time.
Every time. And it was a perfect recipe for Serbia and Jokic. You surround Jokic with like smart players that can shoot. It shouldn't be a surprise. And I guess my overarching point. And we will get to like how fun the fourth quarter is. We'll talk about some of the players individually. My overarching point is that my concern, my alarmist attitude, not necessarily that the world is catching up to us. Mm-hmm. I don't think I need to be alarmed that like there's going to be a time where the United States is no longer considered the best basketball country. What my concern is there will be a time where we lose in the Olympics and it doesn't necessarily feel like an upset. Now, if it would have happened today, I do think it would have felt like an upset.
I think it would have been monumental.
But what stood out with this instance is Serbia has 2 NBA players. Mm-hmm. This is not a team full of NBA players. And we're sending our best guys. This is in the past when we've lost at the world stage, we can always rationalize it by saying we didn't send our best team, or maybe there's a world where like Canada beats us. This year's Canada team beats us, and maybe like the rationalization is like, yeah, but Canada had a full,
starting five
of NBA players, and like, like that's probably not going to keep happening for them. I don't know. Like, there's ways you could. The concern is that Serbia is not, from a talent perspective, they are not the most talented. Like at the top, sure, but like from the entire roster, they are not the most talented team in the world, mm-hmm. and they made it look like they belonged with us.
It did not look like a fluke at all.
No, it didn't.
They played good basketball. That was the most fun I've had watching a basketball game in quite some time because it was literally super team, 12 NBA All-Stars against the best player in the world, and like his buddies.
Yeah, it felt like it sort of felt like LeBron versus the Warriors or something. Like I'm probably more. exaggerated. The gap between the two teams was more exaggerated. But yeah, it did, like you said, it didn't feel like a fluke at all. And I think that's what was I don't want to say concerning, but that was like validating to my viewpoint that like the world's kind of coming. They're kind of coming because this wasn't a case of like you're watching USA play and you're like, who the fuck are these guys in the USA jerseys? I don't recognize these guys. We were playing well. Serbia was just playing well too. They were playing better than us for most of the game. And
we shot 50% from the 3-point line, and we needed every single bit.
Yeah.
16 of 32. Steph was 9 of 14. He went for 36 and 8. LeBron went for a triple-double. That was a good-ass basketball game, but it's not like we're out there dribbling it off our foot. And all right, guys, turn it up.
It's not like Serbia was like they were playing zone, but it's not like they were just packing it in. And we shot like 48 threes, and we have a team full of non-shooters or something. And like that's what stood out to me is like this was not a fluke. We have our best guys. Everything about this was legitimate in the sense of, like the style of play from both teams, the ebbs and flows of the game. There wasn't like all of our starters got in foul trouble or something. Like this was a legit basketball game.
Yep.
Where we were down by double digits for most of the game. And to that I say, the days of America like showing up and saying we're going to win by 20. I do think that like we beat the fuck out of Brazil. Sure, we beat the fuck like all these other teams. There are teams out there where I'm not worried about France in the championship until I have a reason to be worried. But yeah, I mean, I think if the attitude is like we're USA, now that we got that one out of the way, we'll just take care of France. I will continue to say it. I don't think it's going to work that way moving forward. I think we have to really fucking lock in as a country and continue for the game against France and every Olympics moving forward. We have to take it very seriously, and you can't just like throw dudes out there in USA jerseys and say we're going to win.
That time is over. And the idea that it was awesome today to watch our super team have to edge it out down the end. It was great. Steph's gone. LeBron's gone. KD's gone. Well, those were our finishers today.
Yeah.
2028 comes around in the United States.
We got Jason Tatum.
Kerr gonna play him?
We got Jason Tatum.
Would you take USA or the field in Los Angeles?
In 2028? Yeah, I mean, you got to take USA.
You would?
But do you think I'm falling victim to the trap that I'm trying to call attention to, but I'm still doing it, which is like those days are over. But then even when you say it, you're like, dude, we're hosting the Olympics in LA,
and we're still going to be trotting out Tatum, Ant, Embiid, these people.
Anthony Davis. I think Durant's playing. By the way, I think he's playing. I think he's got one more in him.
Got one. That would be quite the meme.
I got one more in me. It was so awesome, dude. Carmelo on the sideline chirping at Serbia all game. Because he hates Jokic,
and he hates Jokic, and also. He's Mr. Like him being there, he's watching his boys, but also he's the Olympian.
He was Mr. America before Durant came along.
And Embiid was Mr. America there for a little bit.
Captain America, Joel Embiid.
I like that one.
He played well. He played well. We needed him to play well. And him and the story of the game to me was I'm talking the total game, the overall game, not just the end. Was Embiid and Steph playing as well as they did. Those were two guys that have not been playing particularly
and
well
have been here.
And they finally showed up when we needed them. And yeah, for Embiid played well against Brazil, but like, I mean, we won by 1,000.
We didn't need him. Today we needed him. Down the stretch, we needed him.
Yeah, and the Jokic matchup in the NBA, when they meet, it's talked about fairly often. Embiid ducks him sometimes, and then even when they play at home, when Embiid plays well, but that's become like a thing. They're the the last two MVPs. So when those two guys are on the floor together, it's easy to like get sucked into like that head-to-head matchup. And I thought, Embiid, he wasn't perfect. There were times where it's Yeah, but we don't win the game without him.
That's a fact.
I think that is fair to say.
What would flip it? We don't win the fourth quarter, 32-15. We lose that game. What would that have done to Jokic's legacy?
Oh my God!
Think about that.
Yeah,
like took on the 12 super team from the United States by himself and came out victorious.
Yeah. But it wasn't but it was.
It was.
History would say it was by himself.
Yes.
It wasn't by himself, but history would say it was by himself. Yeah, what a game, dude. Like if you watch that game, you'll never forget it. And if you didn't watch it, I feel bad for you if you're a basketball fan, because it was incredible. And that's like it underscored why I follow international basketball, why I love watching Team USA, even if we're 40-point favorites in games and all that sort of thing, because moments like today where seeing Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James close a game together, put the fucking country on their back. Carmelo Anthony standing courtside, yelling out plays, telling him to get KD the ball. KD hits was that the shot to go? I don't think it was the one to go to head, but there was that KD pull up, kind of a bad shot, but it's Kevin Durant, so you know it's going in, but it was a long two. And Carmelo's like calling it out, and it goes like the whole scene was awesome. It was exactly what I've always dreamed of, like international basketball being. Is like I want to watch USA at our peak, but we have like a worthy challenger. And Serbia was a worthy challenger today. I mean, we've said it 100 times. It was not a fluke.
Let's say it what it is. I thought there were 2 times in that game where Serbia had us beat.
Yeah,
like there was. So they were up 11. Jokic got a wide open 3. He missed it. That would have put him up 14. Instead, we come down, we hit a 3, Jokic pushes someone in the back.
That's right.
Picks up his 4th, and then we hit 6-point possession.
That's right.
Jokic picks up his 4th. They could have been up 14, instead they're up 5.
Yeah.
And then the other one was even up 2 minutes to go for Serbia. They got the most wide open 3.
They did. They did cool off. They definitely cooled off. And I think the moment I'll say it. The moment was too big for him. I don't know if I can prove that, but it felt like it reminds me of like a college I mean, how could it not? It reminds you of like the NCAA tournament, and there's a team that's like trying to pull off an upset, and they just like the clock strikes midnight on Cinderella, and it felt that way for the last like 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, we watched the game together, and we went down early, and there were some people calling like, okay, I'm touching the panic button. And you kept saying, now's not the time. Now's not the time. There was a time.
There was a time. Yeah, there was a time. Somewhere in the second half, I was definitely panicking because I noticed I felt like the players were panicking. And so when you're that talented, maybe it wasn't panic. I felt like the players were playing. I felt like the United States started playing outside of their comfort zone where they were no longer like they were aware of what the score was. They were aware that Steph's going off and we're still down. We're still on 6. Whatever. All right, we'll be all right. And then they give like, we're still down 12? Like, how does this happen? Like, we feels like we're playing well. What's going on here? And I feel like there was a time, even in the first half, where it was less like panic maybe, and it was more like we're going to get it all back right now. And like they were taking crazy chances on defense. They were not boxing out because they're like trying to like a guy who should be securing a rebound, like taking off in transition and the ball gets battered around. There were instances like that where I started screaming at the television, like, why are we panicking? There's so much fucking basketball left. Right. Why are we trying to like get it all back on one steal and then?
But that's what we talked about before the Olympics was we just want to see one time where Kerr has to coach, or where the team has to play in crunch time. Are we going to all of a sudden try and hit the 6-point shot if we're down by 6? Is LeBron going to try to do it all by himself? They shut up a lot of people today. With the fourth quarter was panic time, and we won the fourth quarter by 17 points.
Yeah. Crazy that we won by 17.
Yeah, question for you.
Go ahead.
You think anyone in Serbia called game? Watching that game in Serbia?
Tell you, I have a devastating confession.
What's that?
There was a man in Chicago, Illinois who called game.
For who?
I may have called game for Serbia.
You called game?
You know I'm a gay man.
I know
I'm a gay man.
You came out as a gay man many a times.
I'm a gay man, and I love calling game. I'm addicted to it. Most famously, Baylor Gonzaga. I called game before the end of the first media timeout, and I meant it. And a lot of people did. But I meant it. I was like, this thing's fucking over. I called game in the first half. I called game in the first half when Serbia hit. We missed because what happened. We took some stupid shots. We were taking stupid shots. Serbia was hitting everything, and I was like, I think Jokic is going to get him over the finish line. I think he's going to figure it out, and I was wrong. Wrong. I'm proud to be wrong though. I've never been happier to be wrong, but I thought
wrong to be a game man.
I definitely hit the panic button though because it just felt like the team, the team just kind of lost their minds there for a second, where they just weren't playing basketball as much as they were like trying to like. Yeah, that's the only way I can describe it. What I saw was like, even towards the end, there was that play. I think we had just tied it up or something, and Jokic gets the ball at the free throw line, and LeBron just comes and doubles. When Jokic has his back to the basket, Jokic turns and just throws it to LeBron's guy who cuts the basket, dunks it, And I'm like, that's not a LeBron's like one of the smartest basketball players to ever live.
But
why would he do that?
It was frantic. It was, is this team going to lose? And we were doing uncharacteristic things.
Right. And it felt like in LeBron's mind, he's like, I'm going to fucking drive the final nail through this coffin. I'm going to get the steal. I'm going to just put my head down and dunk on everybody. He kind of did that with like some of those finishes late. But that was what concerned me, was like we started doing that shit like halfway through the second quarter, where it's like, I'm gonna watch this. Okay, fine, you're up 12. Watch this. I'm gonna get it all back right now.
And that's to your point. Is the rest of the world is now at the point where we can't just do that. Like we can't just put our head down and go through and beat Serbia.
And they're not scared of us. I mean, I think that matters too. I think there's a lot of comparisons between this team and the Dream Team, and really there's, as long as we're sending our best guys to the Olympics, there will be comparisons from the current team to the Dream Team. You know, like that's going to continue to happen every single year. But one thing that should be noted between the difference between the Dream Team and this team, the Dream Team, if you've watched any media about the Dream Team, there are just like countless stories about how they would play guys, and then the guys would ask for their autographs after the game. The guys would, you know, like the game's tipping off, and like the guys are like shaking. They're so nervous to meet Michael Jordan.
You think Jokic asked LeBron?
Yeah, right. Come on. Right. So there is that. I mean, that's a real thing, is that if nothing else, the world is no longer scared of us. But yeah, what a treat to watch those three guys at the end and Embiid, but to figure out who our crunch time lineup is.
Well,
Devin Booker.
Let's talk coaching.
Devin Booker is in the mix. That was crazy.
Devin, but
I think it's he's deserving of the spot. But it's if you showed like NBA fans this roster, and then you said, tell me who are the five that are going to be playing, like before this whole cycle happened, and you saw this roster and you said, NBA fans, you tell me who are the five that will be out there. I don't know how many would have Devin Booker.
Titus, you and I did an exercise before where we chose the starting five, and we both wrote down our final two. And our final two, we couldn't decide, was Tatum or Ant.
Tatum or Ant, yeah.
Tatum, DNP, Ant, 13 minutes, got benched.
Wow.
Not a good look for the podcast.
But we got the other ones, right?
We did. And Devin Booker, 24 minutes and out there belonging.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome for Team USA. I mean, last time the last show we did, I said that about him. Like, if there's something about him in a Suns uniform where I'm like, get this pussy off my television. Get this fucking guy. He's always whining to the refs, dude. He plays finesse.
Team USA's different.
He plays a finesse bitch ass brand of basketball, and he's jump shooting, and like can't handle. Like I don't need Devin Booker. And then he puts on the USA jersey. I'm like, that's my fucking guy.
Is there
Devin
anyone?
Booker, let's go.
Is there anyone that could slap on a Team USA jersey and you're still like, fuck?
And I'm still like,
because that's a powerful. Yeah. That's patriotism.
It is, dude. It is. I don't know. I don't know who I think people that watch and listen to my show would say I hate Tatum more than anybody else, and I don't really feel like I hate Tatum that much. So I don't know who in the NBA I hate the most. Yeah, I don't think so. It is a powerful jersey. Who's the side conversation? Who is like the most hated guy in the NBA?
The dude that plays for Canada, that LeBron has a beef with.
Oh, Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks. But he's also Canadian.
But he's Canadian. Who's the most hated American?
I would say, I don't know if he's the most hated American.
I mean, the answer is kind of LeBron, but it's not really, because LeBron, for all the hate LeBron gets, there's another side.
Yeah, there's a faction of people that just
it ends
slobber.
Up in the middle. Yeah,
I would say that Kyrie Irving is polarizing.
Kyrie Irving's a good one. You might have some people up in the Northeast.
Draymond, but at least how I've always been is Draymond is a hate him if you're playing against him, love him if he's on your team.
Yeah.
So you throw a USA on Draymond.
I hear that. I think Draymond's problem is like, Draymond's thing was like when the Warriors were winning championships, his behavior was tolerated, if you want to call it that, by the public. Not that we have any power over whether we tolerate it, but like he would act a fool, we'll say, and the Warriors are still winning championships, and you're like, I don't know, man. The results speak for themselves.
Right.
And then as the Warriors have kind of fallen off a little bit, and Draymond's not really changed,
and he's still punching dudes in the face.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit like, is he just a bad guy? And I mean, we all saw it, but also winning is cool, and he was winning, so like we look past it.
If you're punching teammates and holding people accountable and yelling at the coach and yelling at Kevin Durant, but then winning the title at the end of the year,
yeah,
that's because you're a winner and you hold your teammates accountable.
Michael Jordan, Steve Kerr punched him in the face.
You do that on a team. You do that on a team that finishes 8th in the West and gets bounced in the first round.
Yeah,
you're a cancer in the locker room.
Yeah.
Just win, baby.
I don't know who the most hated American would be. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think there's anybody that would put on
the hate watch.
Aaron Kraft.
Man, I would love that. That'd be the hottest selling jersey. John Morant's really popular, but he's had his...
John Morant's had his problems, but
he's hot in the streets.
Yeah, and John Morant's so electric on the basketball court that
are we going to see
can win people over.
Would we see him in Los
Angeles? I don't know, because talent-wise, yes. Now, the thing with Team USA that they have tried to establish is, like, you have to want this shit. You have to, like, make yourself available to various World Cups or, like, whatever training cycles we're on in the next 4 years. It's not Colangelo and, like, I don't know what Coach K's influence is, but he's probably calling all the shots as well. And Grant Hill's, like, technically the guy picking the roster, but we all know how this stuff works. All the Illuminati of USA basketball will lead you to believe that they are not going to pick at their team based on just, like, when 2028 rolls around, who are the 15 best USA players? Let's extend invites to them. So, like John Morant, how much is he going to be in the mix based off of, like, how much he meshes with? Because if Jaylen Brown's not on the team, like, if Jaylen Brown you feel like is an off-court problem, which is they didn't really say, but they're kind of saying, because he's not an on-court problem.
Right.
He's not an on-court problem.
You can't say that about Jaylen Brown.
So it's got to be some sort of off-court thing. I imagine John Morant might be but he's so fucking good, dude. Like, and what you said earlier, if we're losing, like, the talent, we can't afford to be extending invitations to, like, second-tier guys.
Correct. Well, Cooper Flag. It'll be Cooper's Flag.
Cooper Flag's time.
And then who's our Dabansa?
AJ Dabansa, yeah. He's a young goat as well.
What about, here's a couple hateable ones. James Harden.
James Harden's a good one.
I don't really like him.
But James Harden USA, I'm in. Yeah.
Really?
I would be in, yeah. I would be.
I
won't lie. If he starts fucking it up for us, like if he shows up to the Olympics fat and he's doing, like, James Harden ISO ball where he's just dribbling between his legs like 30 times without moving,
kicking his feet out on threes,
and then does a gather step, 3 step backs, and then kicks his leg out, like, and then he airballs it and looks at the refs with his palms up like, oh, you're not gonna call a foul? Then I'm probably out. But the idea of James Harden put on a USA jersey, I do think it makes him likable. I think there's power in that, the USA jersey. I think.
Well, there's no more power in it needed than, I would say Embiid is up there as one of the answers.
Yeah. Dude, I would. Listen, me, you, the whole fucking world outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and probably Lawrence, Kansas, because they probably still love Embiid too. But we've been clowning Embiid nonstop. Playoffs, all the way through this Olympic run, Embiid is not. There've been moments where you're like, yeah, I'm licking my lips, rubbing my hands together, like I want to clown Joel Embiid. And then during this game, he's hitting shots and getting stops and grabbing rebounds, and I'm screaming.
Yeah, that's our guy. That's
Captain America, let's go.
Captain America.
Captain America.
And
Joel Embiid,
and then after the game, he's dancing in front of the fans, and I think he hit him with the suck it.
The suck it sign?
Him and Anthony.
Dude, that's a story. If you like storylines, I don't know if you like him as much as Jake Marsh, who used to appear on the show fairly often. Used to love to come on and talk storylines, Tate. Joel Embiid playing France in Paris for the gold medal.
Just the way the script writers wanted it.
It's pretty good. How about the LeBron? I just keep going back to those 3 guys: Durant, Curry, and LeBron. LeBron and Steph looking like they were going to kiss at the end. Well, that was awesome. I think they should have. They should have just kissed.
That was a personal favorite of mine because, as a Cavs fan, we went to the finals 4 straight years. It was LeBron versus Curry, LeBron versus Curry, LeBron versus, and then throw Durant in there too.
That's right.
Like, damn, this is the biggest collection of talent in NBA Finals. Blah, blah. They're on the same fucking team.
They're on the same team, Tate.
Pretty cool.
They're on the same team, and they have not really played together at all this entire run, and no exhibitions, and no none of these Olympic games. Durant's coming off the bench, which I found shocking, but also we talked about it a little bit that when you have that much talent, maybe it makes sense bring Durant off the bench and be the scoring guy off the bench and whatever. It made sense, but in the back of my mind, I was frustrated. I was like, these 3 guys, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant, have run the NBA for at least a decade.
At least, yeah.
A decade. I mean, LeBron going back to...
They've ran it for a decade.
They've ran it for a decade, but they've been...
still running it now. They are, aren't they?
Kind of, yeah. Kinda. I mean, the Celtics as a team are, but like those are the stars. Those are the guys. Those are the American stars. Those are the guys that, like, if LeBron James is on the Lakers and the Lakers start next year 1-23 to start the season, and LeBron James is coming to your town, you don't give a fuck that they suck. You don't give a fuck how good your hometown team is. LeBron James is coming to town, and Steph's that way, and KD's that way. Those three guys are mega stars. Have run this league, and we put together Team USA and throw all these three guys on there, and all of us are like, oh my God, for the first time we get to see all three of them play together, and we have not seen it really. We haven't seen them on the court at the same time at all until the fourth quarter. It happened, and it was like the greatest thing ever.
So here's my question. Whose fault is that? Like, I get that Durant was hurt, and I get that Curry wasn't playing great, but also if Steve Kerr's job is to win the Olympics, who starts on Saturday?
Yeah, it's the lineup that he threw.
Are we playing this rec league ball again where Tatum sat out this game? Does Tatum start the gold medal game?
I think Embiid played well, but I think you put Anthony Davis in for France's length. I think Embiid was for Jokic. Mm-hmm. And I think it matters matchup. So I would still put Anthony Davis in, but like,
no way, right?
But he's not going to. I don't have a problem with it. If Embiid's playing better, Embiid is playing better basketball, and I think you have to with the whole storyline and everything. But yeah, if you're asking me straight up, like, you want to win this game, what do we have to do? I like an Anthony Davis matchup against Wembanyama.
So are we fucking around or are we not fucking around?
Yeah, I don't know.
Saturday.
But Embiid did play well, so like at least it's not going to be as egregious when he starts. But Devin Booker's been. I think Devin Booker's deserving of all the run he gets. I think Devin Booker's been great, and he does the little things, and that's so important for a team that's talented.
How does the Embiid France matchup, does that scare you at all? Does that excite you at all? Does that I get it's a great storyline, but everyone's seen situations where someone is more focused on a different storyline than winning.
He's caught up in like his own shit instead of just winning the game, doing what he can to help USA. I am a little bit, but I would say the Jokic Embiid matchup could have done the same thing, and he played well today. So I feel like that's sort of like a good test. That he didn't get sucked into the Jokic versus Embiid matchup quite as much. So yeah, I trust him. But I'm fired up, dude. You can't get any better than that. The Paris is hosting the Olympics. You got the young goat Wemby. France has more talent than Serbia does.
100%.
But it's going to be billed as a similar storyline, that it's like Victor Wembanyama versus U.S.
Right.
That's not the case. They have,
and it wasn't
they have more
the case today.
NBA players. But speaking of which, Rudy Gobert is it's just fun. It continues to be funny. I need somebody. I will put my hands up and say I don't understand, because like I don't know of any other player. Trying to figure out how to say this. Rudy Gobert is a good basketball player. That's a fact. That is, if you were to say he's not good, I would say you're wrong. You're objectively wrong. But I've never known of a good basketball player to be taken out of games over and over and over and over and over and over again, and his team gets better.
FIBA and whatever you need.
No matter what jersey he's wearing, when all the chips are in the middle of the table and Rudy Gobert comes out of the game, that always seems to be the best thing at that moment for his team.
That's tough.
And I don't know how or why that happens, but I can't unsee it, Tate. And that's exactly what happened today against Germany. Germany was, I don't want to say cruising, but it kind of felt like Serbia, USA, where it's like Germany's the better team, and they got a double-digit lead. Gobert's ass goes to the bench. Some wild shit starts happening.
So you think that'll happen Saturday then?
I don't know. I want to talk to Francis. Who's Francis' coach? Figure out Francis' coach for me. I want to talk to him. I want USA to win, but like if we're holding coaches accountable, I got to figure out.
Well,
you want to talk about taking the gold medal game seriously? What is he going to do with Rudy Gobert?
Vincent Collet?
That's what I thought. Yeah, I had that on the tip of my tongue.
Speaking of coach, can we get on Serbia's coach real quick?
Please.
I thought.
Yeah. Please.
You know me. The end of game situations, I think, are really when you see if a coach has like a grasp of controlling his players and prepared and all that. I thought, so the United States is up 4.
Yeah.
Serbia scores the bucket. So now it's a 2-point game, and the difference between shot clock violation and game clock was 2 seconds. So first of all, Titus, are you fouling?
You fouling immediately.
You foul
immediately. We were saying in the, hey, you got to foul right now.
You have to foul when LeBron gets the ball. You have to foul when Embiid gets the ball. They're passing it around, and Serbia's not fouling. Steph Curry gets the ball.
What does Serbia do?
Well, they let him dribble it out, and then it's like, all right, fuck it. They're gonna try and get a stop, and with like 2-3 seconds left, go down and shoot the basketball. They fouled Steph.
You know what they did before they fouled Steph? They one of the worst flops I've ever seen in my life.
Well, if you're a fan of flops,
got ejected.
If you're a fan of flops, that was actually the best flop you've ever.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. It was a great flop, but it was also.
It was
so egregious.
Yeah, like
never seen anything like it.
I think flops like oftentimes have to be like in the heat of the moment, or like someone's barreling hard down and then you flop.
Yeah.
He ran up, initiated the flop. He put his chin onto the guy's elbow.
Brad Davison saw that and started blushing. He was like, come on, dude. Brad Davison said, what are we doing?
Yeah.
He's like, what are we doing? We can't be doing that. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Where were you know who I want to call out on Serbia? The Jokic brothers, where were they? Because I feel like Carmelo gets some credit for pushing us over the edge.
We had the court side.
And if I'm Serbian, I'm asking questions about where the Jokic brothers were to fight Carmelo Anthony.
I like that.
Side.
I like that a lot. So they were up like 15. All of a sudden, USA is coming back. Carmelo's chirping.
Yeah.
If I'm the coach, I'm not looking at the bench. I'm looking at the crowd. I go.
Yeah.
2 of you guys.
Yeah.
Shut him up.
You're going in.
You're going
in.
Sideline.
Did you watch the I tried to. We were busy doing I guess our jobs is the word I'm looking for. The Germany France game a little bit. I thought we
got to see the end, yeah.
I thought it was awesome that Dirk and Tony Parker and Boris Diaw were there. Mm-hmm. And then it like drove home how cool it must be to be like a Dirk or a Tony Parker, where you're from like a country that is good at basketball, but you don't have a ton of legends. It's kind of, it's a college thing. I think that's what I love about FIBA. I think what I love about FIBA, I'm just now realizing it. The international basketball is just college basketball with better players. Mm-hmm. So that's why I fucking go crazy for it, because it's like USA is Duke or Kentucky, where like every guy that's put on a USA jersey.
But we still have our all-time greats.
Yeah,
like Carmelo is still an all-time great. Kevin Durant, LeBron, still all-time greats. When they go back to Duke, that's like the big.
It's still a big deal. Mm-hmm. But if you're like inviting back all of the like awesome Team USA players, it's a big room now. Mm-hmm. Like in the same way that like if Duke wants to bring in all their NBA players, but to see Dirk and be like, dude, that must be so cool to be like Dirk is like Steph at Davidson.
That was my exact example. Yeah. Steph goes back to Davidson. Like Dirk going back to a FIBA game.
It's like you're watching a Davidson game and they cut to Steph in the crowd and you're like, that's so fucking. He runs that school. Yeah. That's how I felt about Dirk. I was like, dude, that must be so cool to just be the face, like Yao is with China. Where you're like, I am the face.
Yeah,
I am the face of this entire country's basketball scene. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm fired up, man, because I have. My whole life, I've wanted international basketball to like matter to people, and it's still a long way to go. I think the general public, it's hard, and especially like when these games are happening during the Olympics, and there's so much other stuff going on, and like they're even though the country is locked in on the Olympics, some people love swimming and some people love track, and I love all that too. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's going to make it hard, but I think we're closer. I think we're closer to a world where like if you're a soccer fan and you love Chelsea, say. Mm-hmm. You probably almost certainly love watching the World Cup and the Euros and like all this other shit that goes on with the international scene. And I'm like, why isn't that the case with basketball? Like, why can't we get to a point where like the FIBA World Cup is exciting and people get really excited about that? We're sending our best guys to that, and et cetera, et cetera. I've always wanted that to happen. One game's not going to do it, but this game to me did feel very different. In 2004 in Athens, when Larry Brown was coaching the team and LeBron was like 19 or whatever, and him and D Wade and Melo, I think, was on I think all those guys were on the team. It wasn't necessarily all the best guys. We couldn't really shoot the basketball. That was the whole reason we got in 08, we got the Redeem team and all the guys signed up to play. But in 04, we lost, but there was a lot. I remember it well. Like when we lost, like the attitude was, so we did send NBA guys. It is a little bit of a panic, but we didn't send the best, and we didn't, and you have to, and we also like we didn't send shooters, and like we didn't send, and it's always like we still have this in the holster.
Yep.
We still have the ace up our sleeve. If we really wanted to, we could. And I think what made this so different, even though we won, and and hopefully people don't just like come away from this Olympics like, hey, we went undefeated. We're still USA. We're awesome. What made this different was we sent not the 15 best guys, but we sent this was the best. This is the best team we could send.
Yeah.
This is the best group of guys
group of Hall of Famers, some of the best to ever play the
All-Stars, up and down, max contracts, you name it. This up and down the road. There was talks that this team was more talented than the Dream Team. And Serbia not only pushed us to the brink, but they did so like, and as I keep saying, it felt like legitimate. It felt like if we played again tomorrow, they're probably not going to shoot like that. Sure,
correct.
But if Serbia would have won, I don't think I walk away from it saying, like, how the fuck did that happen? Mm-hmm. I think I say, like, yeah, they have Jokic and they have shooters and they have Bogdanovic. Like, they have dudes. Like, this is what the world is now.
Yeah, the people that didn't watch the game because they had something going on at 3 o'clock on a Thursday would have been like, that's the greatest choke of all time. But if you actually watched the game, they were a deserving opponent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Here's my question for you. You've been in a situation in your playing days where you've been heavy favorites and survived, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking, were you
Not
on
me.
the team?
I was on the bench, but yes.
That Xavier game, right?
Xavier, yeah, in 07, yeah.
So what's it like after that? My question being, are we tired after a game like this? Are we awoken after a game like this? Is it good news for France that a team woke us up? Is it bad news for France that we're woken up?
Yeah, I don't know, because like if you're using Xavier in 07, the Ohio State Xavier game as an example, we move on to the Sweet 16, and then we're down 20 at halftime against Tennessee, and we have to do it again, and we come back and beat Tennessee.
What happened in the Final Four? Yeah. How close is that?
What, the Georgetown game?
I don't remember the final.
That was like a dogfight. Like I remember, like I think Hibbert and Greg got in foul trouble, and then it was just like a gross game. Mm-hmm. Georgetown was running their like Princeton offense. I don't remember much from that game because it was just like a gross basketball game that we were up by like 7 the entire time, I think.
I personally think France has to be disappointed that someone just took us to the brink.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to catch this team.
I agree. Yeah, we're not going to.
It's a gold medal game anyways, but the best way to beat the United States is what happened today.
Sure.
Serbia jumps out us early.
Yeah.
You're not going to come catch us.
But like I've been trying to say a million times, like I don't think it's a case of like, if the U.S. loses, it's because they didn't try hard. And if the U.S. wins, it is because they tried hard and took it serious. I don't think that. I think those days are over. I think there are scenarios where the USA can send their best team. They can play as hard as they fucking want. They can bust their ass and say they can all like with 4 minutes left slap the floor and be like, now we're locked in.
It's still not.
It's still not enough because like there are teams that are good out there, and it's like. You have to like play smart. You have to execute with shooting. You have to like take good shots. It's not enough to just be like, we're going to try hard. We have to actually play good basketball. And Wembanyama, I just got to say, I hope this is a moment in time. I don't want France to win it at all, but I do want this country to take Victor Wembanyama seriously. He is fucking disgusting. He is alien isn't even the right word to watch what he does on a basketball court. It is insane that France has this and we don't. I can't believe he is like I've never seen anything like it. There was you could pick a million plays of this guy's career and he's however old he is, 19, 20. Schroeder had a shot towards the end of the game. I think they were down 3. I think Germany was down 3. The ball gets like swung around. Schroeder's on the wing. And I as he's going up to shoot, I was like, he's got to hit this for this to be a game. And Victor Wembanyama blocks the shot from like what seemingly he's in the paint, blocks the shot to kind of seal the game. I mean, it kind of turned into a foul, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. He boggles my mind, and I am absolutely terrified, Tate, that like Victor Wembanyama has the moment that we thought Jokic was about to have. We were like, what does this do for his legacy? What is it going to do for Victor Wembanyama's legacy? If 19, how old is he? 19? Is he 19?
I thought I had him at 20, but
every young guy's 19, right? That's become the meme. Mbappe. And
20 years old.
He's 20. If 20-year-old Victor Wembanyama leads France to a gold medal over LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and a bunch of other future Hall of Famers, I mean,
is it his league?
Fuck, dude. We got a problem. We got a serious problem. So
for a long time.
we have a problem.
Especially when these most recent first-round picks are Frenchmen as well.
Yeah, I know.
2028 is going to be awesome.
You know who the big winner for me, though, was today? Was Bryce James. His father balling out on that stage. I think he got bumped up to 99 on some recruiting rankings. I really think today.
Are we talking?
I think they were like, I think they were like, if Bryce James has the DNA of that guy, 100 feels too low. We got to bump him up to 99.
Well, here's my thing, and we talked about Bronny obviously a lot over the whole draft process. What are we doing to Bryce James? It's not what is Bryce James doing. Yeah. Why are we doing this to a 17?
I don't know. I don't know. It's disgusting.
Like the people in the know, the people that do this for a living, say that this is more egregious. Putting him as a top 100 recruit, a 4-star recruit, is more egregious than anything that has ever happened in Bronny's career.
Shout out Kevin Sweeney, friend of the program. Yeah, I saw him. He was banging that drum. He's like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, we talked about Peach Jam a couple weeks ago. Bryce came out of Peach Jam 5 points. Yeah, 2 rebounds, 30% from the field, 18% from 3, 50% from the line, and he bumped up to 100.
Yeah, Bronny's not. Yeah, I don't want to get sucked in. I did it to myself. I was the one that brought it up. I don't know why I'm mad. Bryce is bad. Bryce is that's going to be a not fun.
But we gotta.
That's going to be a not fun experience.
We're not doing this again, are we?
That's what I mean. Like Bronny was a little bit Bronny was deserving of scholarship offers. Yep. Bronny is deserving of getting playing time at high major Division I college basketball programs. He's a good basketball player. Bronny James is a good basketball player. I don't know if he was deserving of getting drafted. I don't think he's deserving of getting a first. Whatever. But you could squint hard enough and see a promising prospect in Bronny James if you really, really try. Bryce James, I don't.
No, not the move.
I don't.
You know what? I'm flipping.
I don't know how we're gonna. I don't know how this is gonna work.
Live on air, I'm flipping. I want LeBron to do everything within his power to get Bryce James drafted in the NBA.
Into the NBA,
and he got his 3 boys.
I think the way to do it, the way to get Bryce into the league is have him pull like a Michael Porter where he goes to school for a year, but then like gets hurt. He gets hurt like immediately, and then he just kind of sits out the entire season. But then by the time the draft rolls around, he's feeling better.
Yeah.
Michael Porter came back for the NCAA tournament though, so that's not entirely fair to him. But yeah, Michael Porter, Kyrie Irving did the same thing. He played 11 games, I think, for Duke.
If you could do it again, would that be your move?
What, just like sit out?
It'd be like 8 games into your freshman.
Try to have a 4-year walk-on career
like that,
where I was hurt for 4 years.
And then I didn't hype up your draft prospect.
I was a walk-on that didn't practice or play.
Could go second round.
What use could I possibly be to the team if I'm never once? By my senior year, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't practice either.
You weren't practicing?
I mean, I was lacing them up, but I'm standing off to the side, just cracking wise with the managers.
Man,
I'm cracking wise, dude. I was cracking wise. That's what I was doing. Yeah, I got fat because I would. Anytime we go to a team meal, I would justify it as like I would eat whatever I wanted because I would justify like I'm an athlete, dude. I gotta Michael Phelps. You know how many calories Michael Phelps eats? He's like 12,000 calories, dude. I'm fucking Michael Phelps. I'm like the Michael Phelps of this bitch. And I would eat so much, and I would get like seconds for dessert, and it's on the school's credit card. You know, like it's a team. I'm not paying for it. So like we're going to these fancy ass steakhouses on the road and stuff. I would eat so much, and I would justify that I'll burn it off in practice. And then practice would roll around. I'm just standing on the sidelines.
Were you the first person? Like, you know how when you have like a superstar, but they don't have to go hard in practice, but then they get all the playing time.
Load management.
You were literally the first bench warmer that the starters were probably like, why is Titus getting minutes at the end of this?
Oh yeah.
He don't work hard.
Dude, Kevin Turner said literally that. I was hurt. I was like constantly hurt because like when I would practice, they'd throw me in to guard like Dallas Lauderdale, 6'9", like 260.
Fucking miss me with
like,
that.
Just I'm breaking like every bone in my body trying to guard these dudes. Banging down low with like Big Ten centers and power forwards. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I had hurt like I'd like broken my foot or something, and I was like just coming back from it, and it just so worked out that I was coming back, getting cleared to practice as we were playing at Indiana. Mm-hmm. And Evan, I made no secret in the locker room that like, you know, my dad was a Hoosier and I grew up a Hoosier fan and all that sort of thing, and I loved Assembly Hall. And anytime we went back there, it was like really special to me that like I gotta. Yeah. I'm not playing, but like I'm suiting up, like I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. This is like childhood me. It was just like it was cool to me that I got to do it. So anyway, I'm coming back from injury, and we're playing at Assembly Hall, and my family's coming, and I don't expect to play or anything, but I decided I'd just gotten cleared to like start jogging and shit. So I decided like I wasn't cleared to play. If they needed me to play, I could not play because I couldn't put enough weight on my foot.
Did you tell coach that?
Yeah, he knew that. No, but like if there was like a 6 overtime, everybody fouls out. Like I literally could not play under any circumstance, and everybody knew that. But I asked the equipment guy. I was like, can I at least like suit up just because it's my last time at Assembly Hall. Evan Turner got so fucking mad.
Oh my god,
he was so mad. He was like, your ass hasn't practiced and God knows how long. Now you're going back home and you're trying to suit up and sit on the bench. Fuck that shit. You gotta wear your jumpsuit, man. You can't wear.
We're talking. Number 2 pick in the draft.
Number 2,
Big Ten Player of the Year.
National Player of the
Year is yelling at the walk-on saying, you can't
suit up. That's exactly what I said. I was like, Evan, read the scouting report, bitch. Like, go worry about the game. Don't worry about what I'm wearing on the bench, dude. Go worry about beating Indiana. Why are you worried about what I'm doing?
Oh, my God.
And he's like, because your ass ain't practiced in 2 months, and all of a sudden you think. And,
that's how you hold people. That's culture.
Fair point. Speaking of Buckeyes,
I was going to say.
TBT champions, dude.
Shout out. Sully
is that dude, man.
$1 million shot.
I didn't see that coming. When we won it a few years ago, I saw that coming. Like we had Sully was on that team too, with Buford and Linzel Smith was on that team. Trying to think of who else. Deshaun Thomas was on that team. I don't think we had anybody else of note. Who was the Carmen's crew?
I have it this.
They had like a white kid that I can't remember his name, like 34, 33 or
Jeff
something.
Gibbs had to be on the team.
Jeff Gibbs. Yeah.
But yeah, this there has always been since we started entering a team, like excitement around Ohio State's team. Like this, we've got Kraft coming back. Sully's gonna play.
Yeah, Kraft was on the team that won it, I think.
All these like big names. This year was the first time where I'm like, I'm not even really excited for it.
No, that's what it came out of nowhere for me. I was the same way. I was like I don't know.
Willie Buford used to play on the team and stuff like that.
We're getting old, Tate. We're getting old now, and I'm trying to explain that to people. They don't want to hear it, but.
So the Wesson Bros are our savior.
Oh yeah, the Wesson Bros were on the team.
Andre and Caleb were on the team.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming though. I didn't see us winning it, and we did. Carmen's crew.
I think we were
TBT champions. Yeah.
Can't take it away from us.
Kentucky Louisville game was a ton of fun. I enjoyed watching that. They fought afterwards. I got a couple things I want to do before we get out of here. Number one, Kyle Guy is going back to Virginia. This is big college basketball news. I'm excited about this. Kyle Guy retired at age 26. Family man. He's a family man. And he's going to be on Tony Bennett's staff. And I love Kyle Guy. He's the reason I got into Virginia basketball. Actually, that's not true. I liked Bennett ball before Kyle Guy got there, and then Kyle Guy got there and it like shot it to the stratosphere because he's a Hoosier. Kyle Guy is from Indianapolis. And first time I ever met him, he told me that he grew up. He first of all, he knew who I was, which I got so excited about.
Already gets you.
Yeah, that's easy. That's an easy W for him. But then he goes, "Yeah, I know who you are." He's like, I grew up in Indiana. I remember my dad would take us to watch your guys' AAU games. And he's like, and I remembered everybody from that AAU team, and I was like, now I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, most outstanding player in the Final Four, and news just broke. I think today or yesterday that he's going to go back and be on Tony Bennett's staff, and that's
is he
awesome.
going to turn it around? I mean,
he's going to turn Virginia basketball around.
Be back.
I don't know. Maybe that's what they need. I don't know. I will always root for Tony Bennett because I do think one thing you'll learn about me, Tate, and maybe you'll understand this a little bit at this current climate that we're in the college football, Michigan situation. I'm a guy who still I'm a guy who does appreciate guys who do it the right way. I'm still a guy. Jokes aside, my biggest flaw with the current landscape of college sports is I still believe in like a Mayberry pie in the sky fantasy of like I don't necessarily care for amateurism to return, but I still believe in like coaches who are like Dean Smith and are writing letters to their players 60 years later, like congratulating them on the birth of their grandchildren. And like that, I believe in coaches like that. Like I still believe that there's hope that can exist and that like not every coach is just a scumbag looking to enhance his own brand, And Tony Bennett to me is definitively one of those guys. So I will always root for him. And that's a long-winded way of defending Tony Bennett because like Virginia basketball's kind of falling off.
I was going to say
Virginia basketball's kind of falling off. They kind of stink.
you got me going there with I agree, and ideal world, it's like, hey, can you like be hard on your players, but they learn life lessons, and then you hold them accountable, and then they come back the next year, and you return all this. And it's like, well, yeah, we all want that, but also Virginia basketball being bad.
But you can't, like, I think the problem he's going to run into, and he's already running into it. One, Virginia's a hard school to get into. I think they're tough on transfer admissions, which Michigan's having that problem too. I think Michigan basketball has had all sorts of problems getting transfers.
Good. Damn shame for Virginia, but fuck Michigan.
I like Dusty May. That's going to be a problem, by the way. I do like Dusty May. I'm just being honest, dude. I've told everybody else. I'm a Buckeye. I'm 100% a Buckeye, but I'm also a guy who, unfortunately, I have to call it like I see it. I have to. Juwan Howard punched a man
a little bit, though.
Juwan Howard struck a man in the face.
So it made it easy to hate him?
Easy to hate him.
What when you say
Dusty May, I'm not rooting for Dusty May. I'm not rooting for Michigan basketball. What I am simply saying is there might be a world where I have Dusty May on my show.
Okay. I have no problem with that.
And if he comes on my show, I'm not going to like disrespect him and be like, dude, you coached the wrong team.
Now that's where I have a problem. Have him on all you want to tell him to fuck off.
I'm not going to tell him to fuck off. But yeah, I want him to lose every game. But I think he's a good dude.
The problem with the college basketball landscape in that way though is like, yeah, Dusty May went to Michigan, so now it's like, all right, I'm not a Dusty May guy. I also wanted Dusty May to be Ohio State's coach.
Yeah.
So I can't be that anti-Dusty May.
Yeah, you can't be. That's exactly right. So he has to earn, and he will. There will be a time where we'll be playing Michigan and Dusty May will like clap in one of our players' faces or something.
That's what we
need.
All
right, never mind. I kind of hate this guy. But right now, I can't lie to you and say I hate him. I don't hate him. Yeah, but anyway, Virginia, I think they have a transfer problem, and I think they have a transfers coming in problem. And I think they have a transfers going out problem, which is what everybody has. But like, how can you, if you're a program that's built on that culture and that like, Bennett ball, frankly, is unlike anything else.
Yeah. Do they have a style of play problem?
They have the style of play where it takes a few, like the way they were successful is like guys were sticking around the program and learning each year. And like by the time you're a sophomore, maybe if you're really good, it's your sophomore year. If not, it's your junior or senior year, you blow up and have a big year and you just keep that cycle going. And can you have that cycle in modern college basketball when dudes want to transfer?
Yeah, I would say the biggest change is there's no more consistency in roster turnover.
Yeah.
And no one will get hurt by that more than a program that has a system.
Right. So hopefully Kyle Guy can solve all of those problems. Kyle Guy.
It's on you, Kyle.
The special assistant / like graduate. I don't know. Like they've kind of made up a title for him. I love that though. I think. What do I think? I gotta figure out how I want to say this. If you're a legend at a school, you should be able to be on staff in an official capacity. You should be able to have as many legends as you want on staff. I don't think you need to. I don't think these staffs need to make up fake rule. Like I think Kyle Guy's status, or I think Kyle Guy's title at Virginia should just be Kyle Guy. Is what I'm saying.
Kyle Guy
be Kyle Guy.
Yeah, this is Kyle Guy's Kyle Guy's official title, athlete development mentor.
Yeah.
/ special assistant, yeah. And they have to do that because you have to, for appearances and all that. I think Kyle Guy's official title should be Kyle Guy. Yeah.
I think Kyle Guy should
This is our Kyle Guy.
I'm fucking Kyle Guy, dude. I was most outstanding player. I brought a title to this bitch. I'm Kyle Guy. I don't need to explain why I'm on this stat, why I'm sitting on this bench. I'm Kyle.
So when you open up that Virginia program, you want it to say Tony Bennett, head coach, Kyle Guy.
Kyle Guy.
Yeah. It's fucking Kyle Guy.
And I think every school should be able to do. I think you should get like 3 spots on every where you're just like what Carmelo was for us today.
Yeah.
Put him on the actual bench though and let him do that.
Was Carmelo Anthony not an athlete, mentor, and special assistant today at the Team USA game?
That's kind of what Sean May is for North Carolina. Every North Carolina game you look and Sean May, he's like an assistant coach, I think technically. He's not. He's Sean May. If you look on the bench and it's just like, yeah, I'm Sean May. I won most outstanding player in 2005. Remember me?
So I'm
Sean fucking May. I'm gonna sit right here. I think we need guys like that. Last thing, and this is I don't know how much I trust my sources, but this is a little college basketball note. I'm in the Bosco Scoops game. I'm getting in the Bosco Scoops game a little bit. I got a text today that it blew my mind.
Oh wow.
Coleman Hawkins is going to get a lot of minutes at the 3 for Kansas State this year. Now,
how much do we trust this guy?
Yeah, I don't. This is a guy that I haven't trusted in the past. And the reason I trust him is because he's not a scoops guy. So for him to give me a scoop, that actually makes me trust him more. I'm not sure how plugged in he is to Kansas State. He explained how he knows this, like, and it wasn't just like a vibes thing. It was like, I've talked to these people who are telling me that Coleman Hawkins is going to get some run at the 3. That's crazy. Coleman Hawkins is playing the 3 for Kansas State.
How can we use this information?
Yeah.
Is that how they got him? Is that what he wants to do? So that's how they got him? Is that what the source said?
All I can think is Coleman Hawkins went to Kansas State because Kansas State's becoming a player now. Mm-hmm. Kansas State is.
Or do they have just a fuck ton of money?
They do. They have Jerome Tang, who I believe in it so far as, like, I think he's a good coach, and I think, like, Jerome Tang leaves Baylor falls off a little bit. Defensively especially. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think Jerome Tang is a hell of a basketball coach, but he does have that charisma. He's got a little bit of the charisma where, like, I think he's a dangerous guy on the recruiting trail against all these other schools because they apparently have money. Kansas State's got money.
I don't know how, but
and they got a charismatic guy who can coach ball,
which matters.
And it wouldn't surprise me if Coleman Hawkins, part of the deal is, like, I'm trying to get to the league.
Mm-hmm. And I need to show I can do this.
I need to show that I can do this. But I felt like Underwood let him do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah,
there were times you're watching Illinois, it's like Coleman Hawkins.
And if he wants to stick around in the catches, I get to do this. Mm-hmm. Who's to say no? Mm-hmm. You know whose heart you could break? You know who's a big Jerome Tang guy? Big K-State guy.
Bosco. Yeah.
And I know that our group chat right now.
But that's why I sent him on my Bosco shit. Like, how does he not?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
How did he not have this?
Our group chat right now is just strictly Little League World Series regional results, which you didn't chime in on last night.
No, I know.
You gotta pick up.
I've gotten bad with the Bosco group text. I'm sorry.
But the way to fire it back up is, hey, Bosco, I'm sure you already knew this.
Yeah.
But
right now.
Bosco's gonna say
I'm gonna do that right now.
I had that. I didn't have clearance to show you that, Titus.
We're doing this live to tape. But I wish this was a live stream right now. I wish this was live. Let me see this. Okay. Let me screenshot the text. I'm gonna send it to the group right now. Bosco. All right, Tate. Okay. Yes.
Last talked about was the Staten Island Regional.
So I got TM as the initials. Yep, that's right. That's you, Tate, and then there's okay. Bosco, Rico. I'm sure you already knew this. Rico. I'm sure you already knew this, but Rico. But this got this text today. Made my how do I say this? I'm sure you already knew this, Rico, but got this text today that made me raise my eyebrows. There we go. And now we wait.
How does Bosco play this?
Sure you already knew this, Rico, but got this text today that made me raise my eyebrows. He's definitely gonna be like, yeah, we knew that already.
Yeah.
We were trying to keep that close to the vest.
He's gonna hit you with like, oh, so word's getting out.
Yeah. That's a controlled leak. We did that on purpose. We did that on purpose. You were supposed to get that news today. In fact, you talking about it on your show is good for us. That's a good. I don't know where K-State is on his rankings though. Bama's won. Bama's definitely won.
He was chirping you hard for not having Bama as a clear favorite at all.
He's wrong. It's got to be Kansas, and he doesn't understand that. And when the more time Boston.
Oh, he responded.
He already responded.
Double responded.
What'd he say?
He said.
Tate's a hell of a coach. Hell of a coach.
Look at his third text. He's now triple. So to respond what Bosco said Tang is a hell of a coach. And if you missed what I just said, he resent it in all caps. Hell of a coach. And now he's
I can't. We gotta stop. We just dropped the whole fucking thing.
He's now sent a fourth text that will not be read.
No, I told him never mind. We can just end the show, dude. I gotta go text Bosco the rest of the night. Let's just end the show. USA playing for gold on Saturday. I am some show housekeeping. I've loved having Tate on. You're gonna stay on pretty regularly moving forward. But I also want to keep mixing in guests. So I gotta get Mike Rutherford on this show soon. I gotta Louisville basketball is I think they're fucking back. I'm ready to say it. I saw Louisville basketball beat Calgary. My Dinos. Calgary The University of Calgary is my favorite Canadian basketball team, and Louisville wiped the floor with them. Pat Kelsey is putting points on the board. It has my attention. I need to talk to Mike Rutherford. My history with Mike Rutherford, you might not know this, Tate.
I don't.
Every time I have Mike Rutherford on my show, it's because Louisville has shown their ass in some way.
And this is different.
And he's called me out on it, and I'm a bad friend because it's always like, oh my God, Louisville blew a 27-point lead. I gotta get Mike.
Get Ruth on the
I gotta get Mike on the show. Oh my God, another violation for Louisville. I gotta get Mike on the show. We gotta talk about this. And in my defense, Louisville has been a joke. They've just been a perpetual, like Patino shit. Obviously, people forget that Chris Mack was getting extorted by Dino Gaudio. Like, that was happening. His assistant coach is like extorting him, and I'm like, this is crazy. Kenny Payne was there's so much to laugh at with Louisville basketball, and I'm here to tell you, I think the tide has turned.
Is he going to be drinking?
Pat Kelsey's got him back.
Is he going to be drinking the Kool-Aid as much as you are?
Probably.
Like,
I assume
if they're
so.
good, he'll.
Yeah, he's a straight shooter. That's why I love having him on. So I'm gonna try to get Mike on next week, but we're gonna still like pepper in. I'm gonna still pepper in guests, so we're gonna keep that going with the show. But I love having Tate on because it beats the hell out of doing the show by myself, man. I can't imagine being that excited about Team USA and then coming and.
I don't know how you did it.
Well, I'm the hardest working man in show business. That's what they call me, and I think I've proven that throughout my career. That.
Yeah, remember after this, Titus, you have to go back in and play video games for another hour and a half.
You know, I think at some point today when I was playing children's games and eating Uncrustables and playing video games, it dawned on me, am I the hardest working man in show business? I think I might be. I think I might be. Thank you to everybody watching, listening. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about, hopefully, a gold medal. And hopefully we will get Mike Rutherford on the show. Maybe, I don't know. I saw he's selling his house. He's a busy guy. I got to reach out to him. I haven't even texted him, but that's the plan. I'm going to try to get Ruth on, and if nothing else, an attempt will be made. But yeah, we'll talk about the gold medal game one way or another. Hopefully it's a win for USA. What a game today. So fun. If you're someone that like pops into this show, I don't know why you would. You're not watching basketball, but you're just like popping in to listen to this show. You got to watch on Saturday. You got to watch. It's going to be awesome.
USA large.
USA. What do you think the spread is? The spread's got to be out right now. Let me guess.
You guess.
Let me do a podcast segment. I'm going to vent right here called predict what the odds makers are saying. I'm going to say
Remember,
USA.
this is a road game. This is
right
at France.
I'm going to say USA minus 9.5. USA minus 9.5.
Gosh, there's too many freaking
USA minus 9.5, but that feels like too much. It might be like 7.5.
I got bad news for you.
What?
Like I said, guess one more time.
Is it like USA 15?
15.5.
Damn, dude. That's crazy.
That is disrespectful.
That's disrespectful to the young goat Victor Wembanyama.
Well, we had when we were watching there, people were talking about how cool it could be for France to win on their home.
We got
court.
Fucking turncoats at this company.
We do, but hey, how about let's think between the ears a little bit. This is like winning a Game 7 on the road in the NBA and champagning all over in their faces. The United States has the chance to go into France, win the gold medal in front of France, and then Joel Embiid can be sucking it to the whole crowd. So maybe this won't be so cool for France. Jake
Malisak, Stephen Shea. Dude, we got turncoats at this company.
Arnold, that's all.
All right, we'll be back next week. Thanks for watching, listening. See you guys.